Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Okie dokie, what do I want to have a look at in this particular reading? I want to have a look at reports that have come out that to the potential of towards the end of this year, we are looking at, so end of our winter, Northern Hemisphere summer, we are looking at the formation of what is known as a super el-Nino. Now, super el-Ninos do happen, usually, sorry, there is a fly. If you see a fly go past, it's not necessarily an orb, but we do get orbs on occasion as well. Welcome to Australia. Super El Ninos do happen usually about once every 15 years. The last one was the horrific drought that Australia experienced pretty much 2008, I think it was, that we had so it is, around those every 15 years. I know that was longer than 15 years. And potentially goes for several years. Now, what happens with the super El Nino is that the water temperature increases, and what happens is the way that the trade winds flow is that it becomes colder and wetter, like flooding, etc. In the US, I'm talking about the Pacific area, so it can drive certain patterns, wetter conditions and flooding in South America, colder winters in North America, and drought in Australia and Asia. So I am using the Nature's Whispers card. There's no guarantee. This is just early modelling, but I want to have a look at what we need to know about this forecast of a super El Nino, because memories seem to be rather short. So let's have a look. Now, I know photographs came out they were Western Australia, with literally the sky turning a vibrant, vibrant red. That was because of Cyclone Narelle, which started in the Pacific, crossed over the top of the Northern Territory, top of Queensland, crossed over the Northern Territory, and then made its way down the Western Australian coast. Now, this is pretty much like a cyclone that would have crossed over, how do I put it? If I'm thinking of the US, to give you an idea, because Australia is pretty much the same size as the US, crossed over Florida, crossed over Texas and New Mexico, and then made its way up the west coast. So, it was a pretty big system that kept reinvigorating itself every time it crossed over water. So that's what that redness is. Completely opposite side of the country. I live on the east coast, and that took place on the west coast. But yeah, pretty scary. Caused by the dust from the iron-rich soils of Western Australia, and also the refraction of the light coming through that dust as the sun was setting. We do get some pretty bright red sunsets here in Australia when we have, on the east coast, we don't have the iron soils, but if we're having bushfires, wildfires and things like that. So I'm going to use the Nature's Whispers deck and just ask, what do we need to know about this super El Nino to be prepared? Is it going to happen? Okay. Do we need to know? These are quite big cards, so you'll have to shuffle them a bit differently. Okay, come on down, and then I'll grab some Work Your Light tarot card, oracle cards. What do we need to know about this? Okay. What it is going to bring to us is new experiences and possibilities. Now, these can be learning experiences. So anything that is new that we have not experienced before is an opportunity to learn, to develop, to grow. Just like what's happening in the Middle East at the moment is very much a learning opportunity about the reliance on fossil fuels that we do not need to be reliant on given this day and age and the accessibility to renewable energy. So what's happening is a really very harsh lesson because we humans have refused to learn it. Some of us have, but some of us haven't. But okay, so what's the signifier for the super el-Nino is new experiences and possibilities. Be prepared for anything. And it is those of us that are flexible in going with the flow that will be the ones that come out of this better than those that are rigid about this is how I've always done it. Be spontaneous is the second signifier. Now we've also got the red moon there. Or, yeah, it is a moon, the red moon. Again, I'm talking about for Australia, wildfires and dust storms, etc. But be spontaneous, the second signifier. Be prepared for anything and be prepared to do. To go, right, okay. Now this comes back to, actually comes back to pretty much the lesson from my mum that I read on earlier, which is also about going through the process of possibilities. And when you go through the process of all the possibilities, nothing takes you by surprise. But be prepared to be spontaneous, whatever action is required, whatever needs to be done. And again, it comes back to not staying in the rigid, this is how it's always been, therefore this is how it has to be. Right, the energy behind the scenes is, okay, the past, sorry, I'm going to say the past, the perfect setting. Now look at the difference in this card versus this card. But in the past, yes, we've had 18 years of abundance, weather calm. Now I know it hasn't seemed like it, but we've got the perfect setting in the past. Could also be the perfect setup for this, but the perfect setting. Okay, trust your intuition. The energy that we will be in is trust your intuition. Trust your intuition, trust your gut as to what steps you need to take. Oops, that was Spotty having a sneeze over there. By the way, Spotty's doing really, really well. Last week he was doing 2 weeks ago he was doing so poorly. I was wondering if I was going to have to call the vet in, but he's rallied. So he's doing incredibly well. Trust your intuition. Crowning this reading, gratitude, infinite blessings. Bathe in the gratitude of the blessings that you do have. I'm also drawn to the fact, and there he is, speaking of Spotty, hello mate, there he is, the infinite blessings. Now, this is also a snow scene, so just be prepared for snow. Okay, he's wanting to get out. I've shut the door, he's wanting to get out. I'm just going to pop this down and pause, and I'll let him out of the room. Hang on a sec. Back again, I took the opportunity to give them their lunch. Okay, what I'm getting here is with this infinite blessings. As I was giving the dogs their lunch and I had some brain out time, my guides like to throw things in when I'm having brain out time, is know your limits. Know your limits of what you can and cannot do. And what I'm getting from this card is about staying within those limits, not having expectations beyond them. Okay, because interestingly enough, the immediate future is Make-A-Wish. What I'm really getting is, for example, don't expect strawberries to be available and affordable 12 months of the year type thing. This is very much about I'm really getting it's about reducing your expectations with this Make-A-Wish and this infinite blessing. Like next, same day delivery of whatever. This is the feeling I'm getting from this Make-A-Wish and infinite blessings is readjust your expectations and be flexible and prepared to stay within those limits, which is really weird because it's infinite. And we've got Make-A-Wish. Now, I'm just going to say, dreams are free. Make a wish. Use this time to delve into, to explore, to be in the realm of the infinite possibilities in the wish. But I'm just getting, make sure you, okay, where do we go? Right, heighten your vitality externally. Okay, I'm getting, make sure that when you make purchases, you purchase high nutrient, high fiber, and this is telling me about food. This is telling me about the food. Make sure what you purchase. And I'm just going to hate to tell you, chocolate isn't high nutrient, high fiber. Make sure you take supplements if you need to. Make sure you get the nutrients that they need to. Now, the issues with a lot of the modern foods that are hydroponically grown, so lettuces, tomatoes, a lot of cucumbers, a lot of those sorts of foods that are nowadays not grown in soils, they are grown hydroponically. They don't have very high nutrient because they're missing the trace elements. When they grow them for size, for volume, for portability, for looks. So they don't contain the trace elements of minerals and vitamins that are necessary for this high vitality. So again, just make sure that when you choose nutrient rich foods, nutrient and fiber rich foods. Internally, acceptance of love. This is sorry, I'll hold that card up. Sorry, don't flop it around everywhere. This is about looking after community and being prepared to accept as well as give, pass it forward internally. But this is also love wherever you may find it. Acceptance of love for what love is. Love of self, love of community, love of nature. Plant a tree. Plant a lot of trees. But okay, this is so internally. Acceptance, which will help your spontaneity and your ability to be flexible, but also take time to bathe in nature. Okay, hopes and fears. A fresh approach is required. Absolutely. We are in this period of immense change. There is going to need to be a fresh approach. Trust your intuition. Invest in nutrient-rich foods. Don't forget to dream and find joy in the simple things of life. but there is a fresh approach that is required in regards to our nurturing and handling of Mother Earth. We need to remember that we need a healthy Mother Earth to survive. She does not need us. And this fresh approach is very possibly this love of nature. Okay, the outcome, pause, deep breath, culmination of a vision. This is on an individual level. What is it that we individually can do? Pause, take a breath, and show your support. I love that. Yeah, the outcome. Show your support of what will bring change. Change in attitude, change in the vision that we can bring forward for the earth going forward. And then we've got acceptance of love, and love matters. Make sure, and then we've got hope and happiness. So it's not a despairing read at all with these particular cards. It's very much, I think what is going to happen is there's going to need to be a huge mind shift change and a huge physical change in how we nurture Mother Earth, but also our expectations. Trust your intuition, because those that are most flexible are the ones that will go through this, come out the other side stronger. We had this perfect setting, kind of messed it up a bit. Okay, so might leave that reading there. I did have the Work Your Light Oracle, but I'm feeling that I don't need to. I think they've got the message across. So Super el-Nino coming. Read up on it. Be aware. Be flexible. Make sure you consider your options before we get to that point, so that when something does occur, you know what to do. Trust your intuition. Seek out nutrient-rich and earth-supportive products, food, clothing, etc. Look at options, solar, hydro, renewable timber for fire, perhaps. If you're in the northern hemisphere, not so much in the southern, because we're going to be droughts and bushfires. So just be aware and plan. Okay. Deep breath. Love you all. Take care.